Shalom. I'm giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Howard Kakadash. Saying double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. I saw this video. It's put together a compilation of people reacting to the push to the ban for TikTok, and people are pissed, especially people who use TikTok or go to TikTok or use it as their main source of income or side hustle. And when you listen to them speak, they're all basically universally saying the same thing. They're calling out the corrupt system on how, when it comes to coming up with issues that the country is actually suffering, like homelessness, student loans, housing, inflation, they can't come together on anything. But when it came to the push for ban on TikTok, immediately they all band together to say, yeah, that stuff gotta go. And one of the articles I read actually said that they're gonna ban it unless the owners sell it to them. But you see, that's just the nerve of Esau Edom, because you know that's a Chinese-owned app, and Esau Edom, the so-called white man, wants to control everything, chiefly Amalek. That being the chief house of Esau Edom, the chief house of Satan, we like to call them. Those are those 1948ers and the small hats. I'm gonna let this play and read a few scriptures just to show you that the American people, anybody on the planet, especially in America, you're not free, and you'll never be free, because there is a plan at stake, and that's what you're going to constantly hear when you visit Great Millstone or the Hebrew Israelites. There is a plan in the works that's been in the plan for hundreds of years. There is coming to that point where they're going to put the final stamps in on that plan, and it ultimately results in complete totalitarian control over you, your children, everybody. And this push to ban TikTok is just a part of it.
TikTok ban has showed me that the American government just really doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about me. It doesn't care about anything other than itself. I just watched a news report, and it was talking about how when TikTok issued that little notification saying, go call your congressperson, there were thousands, hundreds of thousands of phone calls that were made within the hour. So you would think that the government of officials that were elected to represent us would at least hear us out, the people that they're representing. But no, both parties of this broken system voted in a landslide vote to push this agenda further. Now, I also saw in that same report they were talking about how older individuals think of TikTok as a place where you can learn dances to Beyonce songs and see little funny videos. But TikTok is so much more than that. TikTok is where people get their news. It's where I get my news. I've learned so many amazing things on TikTok. There are so many conversations that are happening that would never happen. And I truly think that it scares people that the people are actually talking to each other for once. People are finding communities. They are learning new things. There's just so much that's happening on this app that has made it more than an app. It's just crazy the more that you think about all this shit. It blows my mind. It's just depressing and infuriating. And it's just like, why do we have fucking zombies running our country? Like fucking brainless fucking people that don't listen. People that lie.
I never thought as a pediatrician that I would be at all useful in a war. My name is Seema Jalan.
People that lie their way to get into these seats, to get into this power, and then the moment that they get in there, lobbyists and people with money show up and say, hey, I know that you said you would support this, but how about this? And more often than not, what do these people choose? They choose the money, they choose the power, the status. I don't know, this is just food for thought. I'm up late, and this just really pisses me off because TikTok is so much more than a Facebook or, any other social media platform. It's something that's very different that is, really, really important.
TikTok ban is about money. It's about money, clear.
Exactly. And, just like that, it seems to be Edomite what he said. What did he say? He said, I think the people are afraid because people are starting to make communities. He said, I go to TikTok for my news. I go to TikTok to learn a whole bunch of new things. I'm talking to people. It's a community. And guess what? According to the plan of the wicked elite, they don't want you to go get your news from TikTok. They want you to get your news from the source that they give it to you. They don't want you to talk. They don't want you people to learn anything. They don't want you to learn anything new. They want to dictate what you learn. They want to dictate what type of information you're consuming. They don't want you to have communities. They don't want you to have talk and free speech. They don't want you to have that. And you people are starting to realize that that is the plan. This is just proof that you are not free. You never were free. The book of Psalms chapter 2 says, "Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?" Because they're foaming at the mouth. This is Esau Edom at work, chiefly Amalek. This is what you people gonna understand. Everything is based around Amalek. It's about them controlling the narrative. The problem is that when stuff happens, when they put pieces of their plan in action, people can go to TikTok and they can get the information there. They can see what's really going on. And if you criticize the state of Israel, if you're calling out names, if you're putting up actual truth and information, that's a problem, and that's why it's got to go. This is really fueled by Esau Edom, chiefly Amalek. They're behind the scenes, they're raging. Why? Because they have a plan that they want to put in place, which is their idea of a new world order, complete totalitarian control over everyone and everything. And according to the scriptures, that's known as the image of the beast, because the beast represents the Roman Empire and their structure and their power. And in the power of the Roman Empire, you had a Caesar who became an emperor, meaning everything was dictated by one person. In this case, that same structure is brought back, but that is going to be controlled by the hands of a few. Behind the scenes, international bankers, everything is going to be centralized and controlled by what they call Big Brother, chiefly Amalek, Esau Edom behind the scenes, is bringing it all back. So they're raging behind the scenes because here it is, they're initiating part of their plan of what World War III, which that's all scripted, man. You got one name, look up Albert Pike. He was an Edomite part, Amalek, I believe, part of a secret society, and he already wrote before the 1900s a plan, the 3 world wars, the third war initiated by what? The state of Israel and the Islamic countries, in this case, the state of Israel and what's going on with Palestine. But guess what happens? People go to TikTok for their information, the truth of the matter, and they see that these so-called victims of casualty are really the perpetrators, and they're the ones that's initiating this genocide, and TikTok is part of that app that spread the information for people to see what's really going on. And they can't have that. So that's why they push into what? Ban TikTok, because if they can't control it, it has to go. So you're really not free. So it says, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, the Israelites, the saints, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision, because their plan is vain, is futile. Their ultimate plan is to set themselves up as the Most High, as the creator on the planet, and they're your guys, and they dictate what you eat, what you watch, what you wear, what you learn, where you travel, what you buy. That's what this whole plan is. And TikTok has to go in their eyes unless they control it, because they can't have the people forming together. They can't have the truth being spread. The truth represents the light. The truth really represents these scriptures. They can't have that being spread. Why? Because the earth is clouded in darkness. It's the book of Ephesians chapter 6. And, you see these Babylonians, we say Babylonians, inhabitants of Babylon, they're starting to realize that you're not free. You're starting to see that truly you live in a society where they don't want you to be free. They don't want you to have freedom to live or anything. They just want you as slaves. This is true. And look at this. You can't even have an app. So let's just say if you actually happen to bring forth an app that is similar, where you can make videos, sharing stuff, just freedom to say about anything, post images, guess what? Now you know that the government is going to come to shut it down, especially if it's popular, because you really don't have freedom here. The book of Ephesians 6, verse 10 says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." That's what you're fighting against. You're fighting against a beast, which represents a power structure. This is a war on truth. This is a war on facts. This is a war on light. Because you see, the world is clouded in darkness. And if there's one thing that it can't tolerate is light. And according to the scriptures, the light is this truth. The book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 19. "And we know that we are of Yahweh, and the whole world lieth in wickedness." So the whole world is full of darkness. That's what you're fighting against. So the move of the ban against TikTok, yes, money, that's part of it, but the main issue is the truth is being spread. The light is going to be shed when they try to make a move and they try to force these GMOs and plastic ice cream and plastic eggs. When they try to make these moves, then people go use that app to spread the truth of the matter, name names, uplift the skirt of Esau, Edom, who try to hide themselves, chiefly Amalek, the 1948ers who try to stay in the shadows and work everything behind the scenes. That's unacceptable to them. So it has to go. Everything is going to be labeled as, anti-Amalek, because they're the Amalekites. That's how they run. It's just like those memes that people make. One of them said, "Welcome to America. You have freedom of speech. Restrictions apply." Because you don't. Yeah, it's only freedom of speech, but you don't have the right to criticize the state of Israel. You don't have the right to state, quote, misinformation. And what is this, quote, misinformation? Promoting the use of herbs and remedies and good exercise, etc. You're not allowed to criticize the state of Israel. That's anti-Amalek. What do you mean by that? Oh, calling out the truth of what's really going on in the Middle East. That's what it's all about. You people starting to realize this is a war on truth. This is a battle of the darkness is trying to consume the light, and the light is too strong. The light represents the truth. That's why, have you ever heard of a reverse flashlight? It doesn't work. You can't use a flashlight to cast darkness. It's not going to work to block out the light. The only way you can stop the light from overshadowing or overclouding the darkness is to block the light. But you can't cast darkness and consume and cover the light. You know what I'm saying? You just have to block the light, because the light, it will always triumph over the darkness. And they can't have light being spread. They can't have this truth being spread. That's why they're passing Bill C367 in Canada to say what? Preaching the Bible can get you thrown in jail. They're taking away they're using your religious belief, the scriptures, as an exemption from saying certain things or doing certain things. And guess what they also threw in there? To stop anti-Amalek. Why is that thrown in there? Because that's what it's all about anyway. But they're going to use the rights of the LGBT, all that, as a cover. But really, it's so that they can't be exposed or called out, because the scriptures tell you that the true Jews are the so-called Negro people, so-called black people. That's what it's all about. It's about stopping this truth. And in addition to this image of the beast, the beast has a mark, and that mark is their final stamp. That mark being the RFID microchip, which is what they're already pushing for. But this is why they have to censor information, because when they come with that chip, they have to make sure that they control the complete narrative, and they can't have people looking up information. That's why getting this truth now in these scriptures is limited. You're on limited time. The Lord talked about a famine of the word. Everything that these devils got planned to try to shut down this truth, because that's what it's all about. Shut down people from teaching the Bible. You know, that's what this is all about. The Lord already told us about it. And look, somebody even put a comment here. This is the proof. There is no two-party system. And somebody said, yeah, two sides of one coin. Yeah. And you know where you can find that? In the scriptures in the same chapter of the book of Revelation 13, where it says, verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. That other beast is talking about America. The two horns like a lamb are what? The Republican and Democratic Party. Whereas in Rome, they were known as the patricians and the plebeians. And it says, it's as a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. The lamb is a front. It's the appearance of harmlessness. It's appearance of seeking best interest for the people. We got to figure this out. It's an illusion, but it says what he spake as a dragon. So their actions, their words, they speak as a dragon, but they have the appearance of a docile creature like a lamb, right? That's why they can come together instantly and say, yes, we got to get rid of this. But they can't figure out what to do with, so-called reparations, which you'll never get, or homelessness, or student loans, the debt, the inflation. That's because it's all one big game. This is a battle to stop the truth from being spread. You understand? I definitely want to end it on that. But it's not going to work, because the Lord said that in the end, the truth will be brought forth greatly. It's the book of 2nd Esdras. Chapter 6, verse 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared. It's being declared now. The true Jews of the Bible are the so-called black people, so-called Negroes. The Edomites is the so-called Caucasian race. The Amalekites are just that, they're the Edomites. The 1948ers, they're also the Edomites. They're not the real Jews. The land of the nation of Israel belongs to the nation of Israel, which today are the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. The beast is coming with his image, which is the New World Order, to establish his position on earth as God over the planet. There is no freedom. There is no future in society. We're at the end. The devil's coming down with great wrath. The Lord, Yahweh, and the Son, Yahweh Shai, are so-called black men. And that the real people of the Bible are so-called black, Latino, and Native American men. From the beginning, our heritage has been brought back to us, and it's only a matter of time before we get in our true land that the Lord is going to give us. But yes, this push to ban TikTok proves that you have no freedom, and the devil's going to keep coming down with great wrath until the Lord take him out the way. With that, shalom.